Ladies and gents, welcome back to the EU Gears Pro League. We're in week number 5 of the summer quarter. My name is Tun and I am here with Fru once again as per usual, and we're excited to get into some good games. As said, nearing the end of it, and every single map is important for these teams. So first and foremost, Fru, how's things going? And once again here with me on a Monday. I know you would rather be anywhere else. I know you would, but we've got some good Gears action
Beach, a
coming up.
jungle. No, of course. I'd love to be here with you, Chris, casting over this exciting Pro League. We've had some really cool results over the previous 4 weeks, and this week it's probably going to be one less close game and one more close game, we think. But either way, I'm sure there's some exciting Gears to come.
Very much so, and the less close game will be explained by the standings. Let's have a quick look at how things have worked out after the first 4 weeks. Of course, Team Sick, well, very much cementing themselves at the bottom of the EU Pro League. Of course, coming in as the new team, if you like, this season, and they really haven't done much at all. I mean, we repeat it every single week. We expect this team to get better over time, but that time is slowly running out through.
Yes, yeah, it is. I mean, minus 24 round differential. It's not even just close maps, right? They are getting hammered left, right, and center. The last time they played Rated R, it was 5-1, 5-1. We'll talk more about that one later, but they really have to start closing these maps before they even start about thinking of winning one. That's the first step, and they just really haven't made any progress there yet. Hopefully today, 5th week in, they've had a lot of time to work together. This might be it. This might be the time today we see them get closer, maybe even steal a map.
It might be, but looking at Rated R on the opposite side of things, they're looking very, very good at the top, of course, and they have a very, very easy game, you would think, for themselves coming up against Team Sick, but, stranger things have happened. But let's have a look at some of the stats that we've got from the Pro League so far, and the top KD is belonging to one of the new players on Oxygen, that is Ashens, of course, of Obey last season and the season before that, moves over towards this Oxygen lineup, and he's been the standout for them, hasn't he, Fru?
That's it, young gun Eddie. He really has come into his own since moving over to the Oxygen roster. We question the move. It has worked out absolutely. So I think we can all say that now, that this has been a really, really good pickup. Both Skills and Ashens have been phenomenal for Oxygen. Across the board, though, Rated R, they're still performing. And it's that man, the style he brings as well as the numbers. Dragons has been performing so well. The last time, they played up against the likes of Team Sick, he rocked almost a 6.0 KDA, and we'll talk more about that one later as well. But Dragons across the board, really, really strong performance so far. And look who it is, bottom right corner, Crimson's once again. No surprise there in that lowest death category.
Yeah, he is very, very hard to kill, but Elevate have found it very hard to come across a couple of wins this season, has to be said. They're currently not necessarily doing the best, and they've got a very, very important game up against Oxygen coming second. But first and foremost, we're going to talk about the game that we're seeing first, and of course, that will be Team Sick taking on Rated R. First time around when these two played each other, let's have a look at the stats and break it down. It was a fairly simple game for Rated R, 5-1, 5-1, and the one that does stand out has to be that 7.25 KDA from Slayers, and despicably good.
Oh, it really was. And if you look at that and then consider the fact that he also had 0 deaths in his second map, it really was just a really strong performance from Slazen across the board. And as I said, Dragons up there as well on a 6.0. Those two, they put their team on the back and just walked through Team Sick last time around. On the other side of things, Notorious, a little bit further away than the rest of the team, but that kind of KDA, that kind of scoreline for Team Sick there is just not at par with Pro League standards. And that's why we're seeing that 5-1 there on Icebound and 5-1 there on Vaskar as well in that second map.
Yeah, it really has been a struggle for them. And we sort of knew from day dot that it was going to be a bit of an issue for them, and how that they hadn't been really playing very, very well in scrims. But let's talk about Rated R once again. Let's speak on their excellence so far this season. Undefeated, they haven't really faltered at all. Look a bit better this season so far, but obviously they've been wanting to transfer that over into the major, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. First steps first is win today, right? Rated R, they've been flawless so far. They will want that flawless season. They've not had it yet. Last time Elevate, they kind of pipped him at the post and won that last series. This time around, Rated R, they've got the opportunity to do that once again. They have to beat Team Sick today, and then they have to go and face Elevate next week. Something we've not mentioned, though, is if they do beat Team Sick today, they are pretty much cementing that #1 position. So it takes a lot of pressure off that final game. And they can go into that one feeling a little bit more, energetic, a little bit more safe with that position not up for grabs.
Yeah, they will be completely locked into that first place spot if they win this game. So next week's result does not really have any bearing on themselves, but it could do on Elevate. We'll talk on that later, but let's talk about
Yep.
Team Sick now. Of course, as said, it's been a really big struggle for them, and I honestly, I did think they'd be the fourth best team here. Don't get me wrong, but it's in the fashion that it's been happening. It's been all too easy for teams up against Team Sick to just walk all over them. The slaying ability now and then does show its head a little bit, but other than that, it has been a pretty push run from these guys, and nothing really seems to be working out for them. And of course, as said, we will give this roster time, and I'm looking forward to see if they can turn it on in the major when it is most important to do so. But really, we expect a little bit more from Team Sick, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at that roster there, you've got J Rage, Reader, Physics, all have got European Pro League experience, all have played very, very well in the Pro League, especially Physics. And they really are just not showing up on this roster. And I'm starting to wonder if it's more of a chemistry thing than it is an individual skill thing, because, we've seen Red9 perform over in North America to, a good standard. I'm not going to say top standard, but very, very good, definitely. And they're notorious in that challenger scene, had been lighting it up, but just isn't clicking, is it, for Team Sick? They're really not finding their footing, and they don't seem to be fighting well as a team, as a unit. There's a lot to work on in the camp, and I'm starting to wonder if this is the right kind of group of 5 players to really pull them through. When I'm looking at the likes of, the kind of old school Obey roster, yes, they messed up and they made some mistakes, but they were always a lot closer in terms of round counts, and they run our top teams, into that 9th round quite a few times. Team Sick, they just don't seem to have that X factor when it matters.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And honestly, it has been a bit of a shame. And you're very right. Obey did push teams on occasion. Yes, okay, they were definitely the fourth best team, as Team Sick are. However, there was still some question marks around some games that you weren't 100% certain that they were going to lose. Although you were pretty confident. However, every single week
Yeah.
I haven't got anything to say that I think Team Sick are going to win. But let's have a look at the picks and bans. Maybe they could throw something from left field to maybe put something in there that will change something up. But Asylum is the first pick for Team Sick after a bunker ban coming out of them. Training Grounds was first out from Rated R. Then they pick Exhibit. I mean, for me, you have to get rid of Exhibit against Rated R. It's just a necessary guarantee, I would say. But at the same time, I suppose if Team Sick think Bunker is their worst map, then you want to get rid of it. Icebound then out, District out from Team Sick, so we will play Vazcott if we do need it. I doubt we will, unfortunately. So Asylum and Exhibit, what are we thinking through?
I mean, this is the first time we're going to see Asylum in the whole of the summer quarter, so that's kind of interesting. We haven't actually seen it played yet. First time on Asylum, no one's played it. And to say it was one of the better, well, not better, but most picked maps over the last 3 quarters, that's a really surprising stat to me. I'm just looking at the ban rates. Ban rate wise, it actually was the second highest, so it kind of makes sense if teams are starting to ban it out against each other. But yeah, really exciting to see Team Sick picking this one through and pulling it through. Exhibit is definitely a Rated R favorite. I think we've talked about that enough over the past few weeks. No one picks Exhibit against Rated R and expects to win, because they're just very, very good at it right now. They're one of the best teams in the world at it. And then Vascar, you kind of got to look at that and think, well, that's definitely Rated R favorite as well. I would have actually liked to have seen Team Sick go the District route rather than the Vascar route, given that they did lose Vascar last time they matched up.
Yeah, that would have made probably a little bit more sense. But maybe just going into this one, they feel as if this is their favoured side. But honestly, there's nothing that I look at and think, oh, okay, for Team Sick side of things. I will look at it as Rated R, always being a solid Asylum team. Honestly, I don't want to really lay in a Team Sick here, but I don't think the maps really matter. I actually don't.
Yeah,
I think for the most part, I don't really think it makes too much of a difference. Rated R get their good pick. And I'm sorry to Rated have the Team Sick if they are listening back to this, but at this moment in time, it's just a case of that they are not at the races with everybody else. They're not on the same level. They need to find somehow to catch up to this level. And right now, they're going to be with a very, very hard task against Rated R. Asylum and Exhibit are the first 2 maps we're going to see. Unlikely we will see Vazgar. But let's talk about our head-to-head, the players we're looking at to turn it up in this game for their team. And 2 sort of contrasting reasons we picked this one. First and foremost, Slazen. His summer quarter stats are a 2.5, but to hit over a 7 against these guys last time round across 2 maps, I think he went 22-0 in the second or first map, didn't he, through? So he's just looking for that sort of performance again. If he does, I do not see anywhere Team Sick win. And Notorious is a player we've pointed out many times that he has flurries of moments. He has sparks that we do see, but we need to see him on a more consistent basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, last time they played up Notorious, I think he had a really good performance. It was just a weak performance across the board by the team, to be honest with you. Slazen, yeah, absolutely, just was a monster the last time these played up. I mean, let me read the kind of stat lines out for you. Slazen last time around had 19-8 in the first game, which is not a great stat, but not the worst. The second one, he went 22-0, completely flawless. 11, 22-0. So 11 kills, 22 assists, and 0 deaths. So 33-0 overall. It was just a really, really strong performance. And yeah, as you said, put the team on his back. If he does that again today, what a monster, really. He will absolutely carry his team through to that first position. Notorious needs to do better. This is your time to shine, mate. If you want to stay in the Pro League, if you're, trying to basically make this a mainstay, then yes, absolutely, you need to make it known right now. In the Pro League, we don't know what's coming up after this for sure, but we know that a good performance here this week, a good performance next week will at least do, help his credibility at least going forward.
Absolutely. There is, we hope, going to be more gears down the line outside the Summer Major, and he really needs to show a reason as to why a lot of people did hype him up. A lot of people were talking about him coming into the Pro League, and he hasn't. I don't want to say he hasn't met those expectations because they were fairly lofty. It would have been difficult to do that. However, we haven't necessarily seen it on a consistent basis. There has been a couple of moments here and there where he has looked really, really good, but unfortunately, it just hasn't really been consistent. And if he can make it a bit more consistent, then maybe he can put himself in the shop window, so to speak. But Team Sick, they can keep stabbing away at it. As said, time and time again, we think that this team does have potential further down the line, but we did think that at the beginning of the season. Do we still think that now?
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but Asylum exhibits what's going to be coming up first and second. Fastcar, if we do need it. Ready to get this one, week number 5. Only one more week before the Summer Major, which will be coming up towards the end of July. Very excited for that, but trying to get a good grasp of where everybody's at right now. Rated R going up against Team Sick. We know Rated R are at the top of the mountain, if you like. Get this win, they will secure first place heading into the Major.
That's it, isn't it? That's a really important thing to point out, actually, is that first place in the Major. Going into that, having that easier run, not having to worry about coming up against a really strong third seed team up until potentially that winners bracket final is a real bonus. And absolutely Rated R will want to lock that in today.
There we go then. Asylum for the first time this season, bizarrely. You bring that out, and I was just threw me completely off. In all honesty,
surprised you, did I?
Yeah, you did. You did surprise me, mate. It's that's a pretty crazy one, considering how often we've seen this map. Last time we seen this map, I do believe it was actually Rated R. Was it not against Obey, and they were getting smoked like what was it, 4-0, and they came back and won 5-4, if I remember that correctly. I think that might have been the last time we've seen it. Way back.
I think you might be right.
In the Spring Major.
So.
Look at that. Gears history is just my number 1 category, mate, at this point. Pains and Kodo, can they get a hold of B? As it does seem as if Team Sick have made this push forward. The Lancers are starting to come in, though, and they really are fishing a barrel at this point, well set up by Rated R. They push in, they back off, they find the kills. B in their favor, then it looks like they're going to lose A as an overextension comes in here from Team Sick.
That it is. They're trying to push up here. Trying to get both of these home hills, A and C. They are going red, but you've got to look at how many blue members there are at home defending that hill. It's a hell of a lot. And now Rated R, they're just going to push out, right? Just going to push out, establish a bit of control, try and meet Team Sick down at this B hill, make sure that no one can really push up. And that's a nice down there. Straight away, Payne's going to go clean that one up. A headshot coming through. Physics should die as well here as he goes down. And this is just a really nice, smooth assault here from Rated R.
Yep. Clean as a whistle, to be honest with you. They're just running through every single member of Team Sick. Now, can Notorious find anything to help his team? Just caught out in a bad position, and it's an easy enough Lancer down. Red 9 goes down as well. Dragons and Co push on through. C has been captured. The elimination ticks through before the domination can. 1 minute and 33 seconds. And the first round is on the board here for Rated R.
Nice quick round. Never really in any danger. You've got to look at all those assist points as well. It might not be the most amount of kills, But assist-wise, you know, we've got some people already up on about 7 assists there. And that, for me, is just, you know, proof in the pudding, really, of just how well Rated R are shooting for each other. We praise Elevate loads of times for this, but Rated R, they were always the run and gun team, right? They were always get in your face, fight with the Nashers, done and dusted. This time around, they're shooting for each other, they're finding those downs early, and then on that second kind of phase, that's when that heavy, aggressive push comes through. And they are, you know, one of the best teams in the game at it for sure. With this new layer of, you know, stability, I guess, and just teamwork that they're putting through here, it's going to be difficult for Team Sick to match it, that's for sure.
Let's go back to this B fight once again. Dragons bringing up the rear, but Slazen will find the first down. Strikers goes down himself, though, but this big fight in and around the train tracks is really what determines the most of the round. Pains and Cole looking for this final kill onto J-Rage to try and finally clean this one up, but J-Rage has done very, very well. Slazen and Marsh have pushed on through and may be able to find J-Rage in a second, but he's done well to survive as long as he has done. Put some good shots into Slazen as well. Stuck in between a bit of a rock and a hard place here, though, as the train's about to come on through. He does very, very well, though. Marsh goes down, and J-Rage, he may not be able to save B, but that could have made a lot of a clean-up hold by Rated R had he not been there.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you can see his teammates on that minimap coming in off spawn now. Flashes, smokes, they're going to go in. J-Rage will start to push up a little bit. Physics going to be very, very aggressive on Slazen, his ex-teammate there. All the way up across those tracks. He pushes up. Good Lancer fire coming in. Pain should die out. And actually, Slazen and Dragons, they've got to be careful here because a push could come through and this could cost them both their lives. They're trying to delay, they're trying to wait for Strikers to come off spawn here. Strikers, with the movement, has found himself all the way through. It's up to J-Rage now. He misses the knife, but he's going to get the Nasher kill. Will find the revive as well. We will see a kill cleanup coming through. B-Hill going the way of Team Sick now. On the other side of things, though, Chris Rednine's pushing up. Pain should go down here, and this might be around Team Sick. If they can just hold this defense, they might be in a really good position here. 2 seconds to lock it in. No one from Rated R is going to spawn up, and we're at 1-1 after 2 rounds.
That was much, much better out of Team Sick there. J-Rage doing a lot of good work in and around the train tracks, and he's a player we picked out multiple times for this team. Sitting on 4 kills with an assist to his name after 2 rounds is a good start. And Team Sick will be happy with how their Asylum has started. Of course, this is their pick. And it was a little bit from left field, I suppose. You know, we haven't, as I said, seen this map at all through the summer quarter. So the fact that we're seeing it now from Team Sick, if they were to go on and win it, would actually probably annoy me, in all honesty. It's to the point of where, well, if you're this good on Asylum, why are you being picking him more? But let's see if they can put together this performance. It is still only 1-1. Rated R, though. I mean, they were very close to keeping a hold of B off the initial last time round. Just couldn't do it because of a J-Rage masterclass, if anything, in and around train tracks. However, this time around, they do have priority. Here comes Reader and Kodos. They try to retake B. Rated R looking to get a hold of it. The Incend lingered around a little bit too long, and Pain's going to find that first kill onto Reader. They should be able to lock in B. They're actually locking in C here, as well as Physics is all alone. The overextension coming in here from Rated R. I don't think there's anybody from Team Sick going to be close enough. That's far too easy. The fact that he's overextended all the way through to C. I mean, I didn't have a chance to let you speak there, Fru. Put it that way.
No, it's fine. I like this. This is an easy day. No, to be honest, I think Jay just got caught out there. His team died so quick. He didn't really have a chance to rotate, find that middle pressure he's been finding in the last couple of rounds. And also on that top side, the entrance side, the 1v1 was won so quickly. It was really quite difficult. I like what I saw from Rated R at the end there as well. Just, you know, standing up, firing line, basically. Just putting as much damage into J-Rage as they possibly could. Even if he did get anywhere near the hill, it would have been a one-shot down and a very, very easy cleanup. A very, very easy round there for Rated R to lock in. So really nicely played. Lives will reset at the end of this one, obviously. We're closing in on the half. J-Rage this time has found himself that mid-control. And will look to just push Slazen back a little bit here.
Nobody in danger of falling to the no respawns issue, of course, as we head into the final round of the half. Notorious, can he find this kill? Yes, he can. Strikers is down, very, very easily done. Nice flash comes through, and he should be able to overextend. And in this case, I would love him to just jump on that. Get a hold of as much time, or at least decap it if he can, but he is all alone. He's done well to come in there and clean up Slazen. No, now he has a bit of support, and now they can make the push onto it. Maybe that's what he was waiting for. Here comes Rated R, though, the domination ticket in, and Both these two teams seemingly not that practice on Asylum because plenty of overextensions coming in, but Notorious has done very, very well to survive, and oh my god, this is a bit more like it from him. He's picked up 2 fantastic kills after 2 to find himself in here. Good shots onto Slays, and there's another as well for Notorious. Puts the team on his back and the round in the back pocket as well. Team Sick 2 apiece now. Notorious going off, and that's a lot more like it from him.
It really is, isn't it? It really is. This is what we want to see from these, these bottom seed teams. Come in, challenge the top teams, take them to, a location they've not really been before. Give them, a little bit of why you're here. Tell them why you're here. You've come through that challenger scene. You've come through those qualification tournaments. You need to really now prove it against these top teams. And I like this. This is also quite funny, quite ironic, not iconic. Ironic when we look back at the Obey matches that were quite close. We saw them go to round 9 on this map so many times. And yes, they came out on the bottom end of it most of the times, but this was the map that they did push Elevate in. They did push Rated R in. So it's really quite funny to see, Team Sick coming in and doing the same here.
Maybe Asylum is just a weak link for the top teams. Rated R choosing not to ban it out, though, is the reason that we are seeing it, I'd imagine. And here we go. Shocks are in. Strikers may well be able to survive that, and does so. That Incend, though, over the top. It's going to get Dragons in a very, very bad spot, but Pains will go down to this. It's a really good push from Team Sick as we have approached the halfway point. We are into the second half. The points have changed around, and that middle point, now E, belongs to Team Sick as they get control of Bridge. J-Rage trying to do something from down low, does well to survive. Rated R maybe have an overextension across the train track side in their sights. J-Rage going to get out, though, and will go back and help his team defend what they've got a hold of so far.
They will. Marsh just putting down a bit of Lancer Fire here as his teammates, they're getting rotated on up top. Physics, Notorious, both of them trying to put pressure up. Dragons as well as he's sneaking all the way around. It's not going well for Rated R up here, actually. See the push coming through. Notorious now trying to get a second one. He's already got Strikers. Can he lock up Pains' kill?
Nice.
It's going to be Physics that does it in the end, but damage from Notorious did help. Dragons now stuck in the sewers. Bit of a rough spot here, getting Lancer, getting shot at. Will get cleaned up. And Marsh, he's got to run off, really. Physics so aggressive here. Slays him. Will he fall?
Oh, can't land the shots.
It is going to be Physics, though, isn't it? And now looking for a second one. Can he get the 180? No. He can't. It's Pain's going to turn back round, but his team are there. Reader trying to clean things up, and they just can't get a foothold in all 3 rings at once, but this might be it. This might be the time to try and lock in and take the lead.
They're trying to. The domination is going to tick in a second, and Team Sick are going to take the lead here. 3-2 now. And Rated R have to turn this up big time. They can lock in that first place this week. However, they don't want to leave it as long as possible. They want to get this done against Team Sick if they can in 2, just to give themselves that best chance, and it will lock that first place spot in. However, Team Sick have been very, very good so far. What I liked about that, they were just seemingly picking their fight very, very well. Like, we've seen the aggression come in from up top Bridge. They didn't, overcommit to anything. They committed as a team to different fights. They single players out and got plenty of fire in from multiple members on on their team, I should say. And it's a very, very nice round out of Team Sick, and they find themselves in the lead.
They do indeed. They do indeed. I mean, it's not unlike Rated R to have close games. They had a really tough game last week against Oxygen, actually. That went back and forth, didn't it? I saw it go 2-1 in the end with Oxygen taking that first map on Bunker from them. So, yeah, finding themselves down 1-0 in a series is not a position they won't have found themselves in before. Obviously, as you said, though, they won't want that. Red 9 with the kill on Strikers here should be able to help lock in this. He's taking a lot of damage there, though. Got to be careful. Needs to heal up. Will go down. Good crossfire coming in from Pains. Dragons, he hasn't really got an angle to help clean this one up. Team Sick going to back off just a little bit now they've got that lock in.
Oh, there comes the late Incend from Notorious. He's had that one pocketed for quite some time. Slays not in a position to try and defend himself there, as Pains is going to answer in turn with a down on Notorious. Reader and Co. They're just trying to keep a hold of this. Do well so far. The shocks are going to be coming in very, very shortly. Pains putting the shots in, though. They're trying to get control of E where they can here. Rated R, but honestly, Team Sick have just held on so well. They just always seem to have numbers here, and Rated R can't seem to find those final couple of shots to get one down and then push forward. The rest of the team aren't really going in any different direction either, and it just seems as if they're going one by one here up towards E. Eventually are going to get the down, and here comes the incense, here comes the shocks, and here come the flashes, and here come the kills. Dragons and Slayers and combining well for 3, and eventually Team 6 resolve around E does break.
Striker's trying to make some work of it down bottom. Just get a nice chunk here. Good revive coming in from Pains, but he's not really positioned himself too well there. Will get taken out. Physics doing a great job here. Bakke does miss from Striker. Second one's not though. That's beautiful. Physics gonna fall. Back to the respawn queue with you. Dragon's now pushing up. Should have a pinch, but he's got a couple, maybe 3 members of Team Sick behind him now. What's he gonna do with it? The big boot comes through. Reader's gonna fall, but it's all about J Rage here as he gets a double kill. This is great. Strikers now putting pressure on. Another back and forth fight here as Red9 tries to defend the D hill. Incendiary goes a little bit amiss here, and J Rage should be cleaned up pretty quickly here, if not for a bit of magic.
No, he does get cleaned up, but he stays alive long enough for the rest of his team to come in off respawn. The win condition is currently with Team Sick. You can't be losing that fight though, but Slazen's going to go down. Where are the rest of Rated R? They need to push and they need to push quickly. Oh, that's a great shot going to go through though. Strikers can't get on it. Reader, well placed there. Rated R couldn't jump on. They could not get on and they needed to. 27 seconds for that win condition. It's going to take a triple cap coming in here from Rated R. At least they're going to need to get a hold of a D cap over towards the D side of things. Can they make this push? Not going to happen. Good shot's going to go in by Notorious. They are going to be able to get E, but the win condition belongs to Swarm. Pains is going to have to go massive here. Can he find anything? He's going to be able to. They're going to get the D cap as well, but the fight's being lost over towards E. The bricks come through. Team Sick 4-2 up now. And there's a couple of members of Rated R teetering on the edge of 0 respawns. Obviously, they will get one back here. However, they're in a really tough spot. Look at that. Pains on 1. Strikers on 1. Looking fairly healthy on the Team 6 side of things. They are in the driving seat in this map and very much in a good position to try and win this one 5-3. 5-2, I should say.
Yeah, they would love that 5-2. And, you know, we said Team Sick, it'd be a bit of a long shot if they were to come through and win. But, you know, we said they've got some skilled members on their team. And they have the opportunity to. Shock's getting locked out. Pretty stale picks, I guess. Pretty standard picks, really. As everything is just mirrored across the board. Those Shocks getting mirrored out. Incens will be the only tool, but we can expect those to get rotated around. Notorious just checking out, you know, what's going on at the other side, where the full stack of Rated R are, and they are up top. Too many R's in that sentence. The Incens will get rotated around, and they will try and pick up some kills up on this top side. There's one.
Some good flashes and a good incend coming in once again by Notorious, who is having a very, very good game. Physics, is it going to get at least the decap here? Is he going to be able to lock it in? Yes, he is. Rated R just don't seem to have another plan here, do they? That seems to be the problem. Team Sick are getting a hold of it, and they're holding very well. Whereas Rated R aren't pushing from any other angle than straight up top bridge, really. And they can't really beat Team Sick up here, apparently. Notorious is going to have to back on down as the flash comes through. They may need to concede this as Rated R do have the numbers. Slazen is going to go down, but they backed up and put the Lancer Fire down. The decap comes through, but here comes the fight. Notorious is going to find one on the way, and he will be put down, and he will be cleaned up. Dragon's putting shots into Reader as well. This should be Rated R getting a hold of E. And Notorious maybe just pushed on his own a little bit too hastily. That the rest of the Team Sick not really on the same wavelength on that one.
No, not at all. Actually, they had the opportunity to go behind Rated R and take that D hill. Red9 was all the way down there, and there was no one looking, no one in defense. It was a little bit of a missed opportunity, but in the end, I think they are comfortable that they can win this fight up top. They don't want to rotate that fight down towards the rail side where they were losing it in that first half. Kind of makes sense. Incendiary's going to go out. Nothing really going to come from that. Pains just go down, but he should get revived pretty quickly. Strikers will fall though to Red9, and that's a great 2v1 that they found down on the D side. And look at Rated R. They're going to have to scramble here, aren't they, Chris? Look at this.
Are they going to be able to get there? Oh, they are going to be able to get there, and Marsh is actually going to have to win this fight. He's already won one. Here come the rest of the team as well. Dragons will put Reader down. The domination is denied. Strikers is out of the round, though. It's now a 4v5 for Rated R to stay in the game. Oh, Notorious is going to get taken down by Painstone. Here comes the rest of Rated R. They need to have a massive round. Dragons now on E. This is still doable, and I think... Oh, Dragons doesn't have his shotgun out. The kill comes in for J-Rage in the second as well. They're just running towards him, and he's dealing with them left, right, and center. Team Sick are going to lock in 2 of these places to get these points on the board. It's good shots by Slazen as Physics does go down, but honestly, how are Rated R going to win this round? It's going to be impossible.
It really is. I mean, there's 50 seconds to go, 25 till they win, but that might help things out here. A bit of a triple kill coming in from Rated R. Red9, though, has got 2 down. Slazen Dragons are going to fall. 10 seconds, no one from Rated R is going to be able to get up off that respawn and make it all the way through, are they? It's up to this 1v1 now. Reader, he's going to win it against Marsh. The swarm domination is going to come through, and it is going to be Team Sick that take it. And they're going to take it 5-2 against all the odds, Chris.
We must have spurred them on with our disencouragement, if you like. Good God, Team Sick. What a very, very good asylum out of them. 5-2. And that's much more like it out of Notorious. 15 kills, 11 assists, only 9 deaths. A fantastic game from him. And Team Sick have their first win of the summer quarter here. It's really caught me off guard in all honesty. I was like, right, okay, well, you know, we'll best get ready for the Elevate Oxygen game. You know, this should be a very, very close one. Rated R have lost the first map. So, I mean, this just really throws so many questions at me, and I don't even want to try and figure out if this means that Rated R can't win it this week. Even if they go on to win the series, I don't even know at this point. But there you go, Team Sick, first map win of the whole Pro League is going to come through against Rated R, who were so far undefeated. I'm very confused as to how that's happened, but there you go. I mean, that was just a really good performance. Rated R seemed very one-dimensional there. They're not usually. They really just seemed to underestimate them, start flying at them, didn't work, kept flying at them, didn't work, and they lose the map. It's as simple as that. The lives were far too low for around, what were we in, round number 6 or 7, and there was already players at 0 respawns.
Yeah, it was after
not
6,
enough.
yeah, round 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I totally agree with you, but it's strange because, you know, the first few rounds I was actually praising Rated R for how well they were playing, how, you know, multi-dimensional their play was. They were, you know, using those Lancers to a really, you know, well-opening initial. They were finding those downs, and then they were cleaning up after really, really nicely, but they just got suckered in, I think. I think that's genuinely what happened. They got suckered in to kind of play in that, I guess, that European game, run at each other with their Nashes out and see who wins. And as soon as it went up top bridge, the skill that, you know, Notorious brings, the skill that Reader and Physics brings, you can equal those on Rated R, right? They're not at that numbers advantage. They don't have all the room in the world to work with it, and you're forcing that fight over and over again. I would have liked to have seen, you know, a drop shot go down on the rail side of things, or an M-bar, or, you know, something just to pull the fight back down towards the rail side a little bit. That, for me, would have been the right play there for Rated R, especially going into those kind of latter rounds, but you got to give props where it's due, right? Team Sick looking good in that first map.
They really did.
Asylum back into it as well.
I know they haven't played Asylum once. It's been banned out time and time again. They get onto it and they win their first map for the Pro League, and this sets them up for possibly 2 more. Right, I'm going to say something with utter confidence, and I was totally confident that Rated R were going to win this one 2-0. I'm really confident they're still going to win Exhibit, so I'd presume we're going to see Vazgar.
Yep.
Although, I mean, I would have put my house on Rated R winning this 2-0, and they've just found themselves 1-0 down. We're going to at least see Exhibit and Exhibit here. This surely isn't over in 2. Surely not. You wouldn't think.
I would imagine not. I would imagine that, you know, Rated R will take Exhibit. That's kind of how I'm feeling as well. I know that we've, you know, seen a pretty big stomp, but we've only got to look back 1 week, Chris. You know, Rated R, they lost the first map 5-2. They came back onto Exhibit, and they won 5-1 against Oxygen, who have been a better team. So, yes, I think we will see that map 3. I think Vazgar will, you know, rear its ugly head. But you got to give it to Team Sick. They're at least putting Rated R in this position, just as Oxygen were last week. And that's good news for me. That is good news.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've said time and time again that we like the fact that there is at least 3 teams who are going to compete with each other every single week. We're not too sure which way the games are going to go. However, in this case now, our Team Sick eventually sort of clicking is getting there. All have Rated R just underestimated them grossly in map number 1. And now we head into maps number 2 and number 3, where it could be a simple task for Rated R. Honestly, I really didn't expect to find ourselves in this spot heading into Exhibit. I really thought this would be fairly simple. I mean, they beat them in week number 3, I think it was, 5-1, 5-1. They dropped 2 rounds overall over 2 maps against them. They just lost 5 on Asylum, only finding 2.
It's pretty crazy.
I mean, the 2 rounds they found was very, very strong. I mean, they looked great in those rounds, but then just seemed to headbutt them constantly in the middle of the map, and Team Sick came on top, which is not something I would expect anyway. Even if Rated R do get lowered into this type of game, they're typically the best team in Europe at that type of game, but they just got they got outplayed.
Yeah, absolutely so. And what's what's more interesting to me is, given how everything's played out, if and it's a big if, don't get me wrong, but if Team Sick do come through and win this series, you know, the loser of the next game between Oxygen and Elevate can still finish bottom. They can still be overtaken by Team Sick because they're both on 2 wins at the moment. So it's possible for Team Sick to come out of this with 2 wins, have a better performance, you know, across the board on those wins, and actually go ahead of one of Elevate or Oxygen at this point. That's still a possibility. So yeah, next week could be a real interesting one because Elevate and Rated R might still be the decider for the league, which, you know, great, fantastic. And also the bottom of the table clash might still be on as well.
Crazy times. I don't know how we find ourselves here, but at the same time, it has made things a lot more interesting in terms of the league, in terms of where Team Sick finished. Do Rated R lock it in spot number 1 here in the 5th week? Do they have to wait until week number 6 to go up against Elevate, where Elevate, even if they beat Oxygen, and if Rated R lose now and Elevate beat Oxygen, Elevate beat Rated R, suddenly Elevate are there with Rated R.
Yep.
Honestly, it really could throw a cat amongst the pigeons here, and it's lined up to potentially do that. We're loading into Exhibit. I'm very much expecting Rated R to come out swinging in this one. But this is how the series has went so far. Team Sick, 5-2 on Asylum. I'm curious, how many rounds have they even won across the Pro League? I mean, because it's not many. I'm going to tell you that.
It's not many at all. I can get that stat for you by the end of the next one. I don't have it off the top of my head, but...
All right, I'll look, pal, don't you worry.
It's probably... I would be... Now it's over double digits is probably what I'd imagine. I'd imagine it had been close to single digits before that.
I'm going through it now. We'll load into it and I'll have a look through. But Rated R 100% win percentage, of course, on this map. Exhibit really is their playground with a 79% round win.
Yep.
Looks very, very good for them, has to be said. But they find themselves 1-0 down. They have to turn it up here.
They really do. I mean, out of these 2 teams, they've played Exhibit 4 times. That's how many times the map has been played in the league, with 3 out of those 4 going over towards the side of Rated R. They are definitely the most experienced team on this league, on this map, and they've, you know, an 80% round win rate. It's a pretty phenomenal stat. They're going to try and keep it at that for sure, or even improve it here.
Pinzaco trying to get some sort of control down low, which is really where they thrive. These up close and personal shotgun fights are really, as I said, their playground, and that's what's going to allow them to get some sort of control over towards B. They're going to make the push over towards A also. Payne's flanking around. Does he know he's there? Well, that shot doesn't register apparently, but for Team Sick, you've got J-Rage and Rad9 in a bit of a bad spot here, and the domination takes on through. You've got 2 players up, 3 if you're counting the one that's coming off the spawn, but just not in a position to defend your home hill. First round goes over towards Rated R.
Solid round once again to start things off. Really, really nice round. Just caught Team Sick kind of out in the open. Smoke grenade's going to go down. I'd be very, very surprised if it's not a utility or a matching smoke. Those incendiaries down in those exhibit spaces can really be quite a useful tool. Flashbang going to go down here for the side of Team Sick, starting to build in a different location, but probably targeting those grenades nonetheless.
And Team Sick, they've found themselves in this position before, and losing that first round is something they probably have getting used to, but can they bounce back? It's a solid round out of Rated R, but could have been maybe a bit of better positioning from a couple of players on Team Sick to try and get themselves in a good position. But Notorious had a very, very good map number 1. If he can repeat that here on Exhibit, we could have the mightiest upset. Flash going to come through. Notorious is going to chase down Strikers, who has to back on down. And can the rest of the team do the business over towards the Aquarium side? But here comes the push. Notorious is going to be forced out and forced into gunfights down low. Has to turn around, putting shots into Dragons where he can. Good shot on the Strikers. And Notorious just seems to be firing this week. And it really is helping his team. It's a good chunk of the Dragons as well. Challenging him, puts him down. It's so good from Notorious once again. Leaving me somewhat speechless at times here. I can't get my words out.
Hey, it happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. But yeah, really, really nice play. He's just looking comfortable, confident. And I think that's really what we've wanted to see from Notorious for the best part of a month now, really, is that confidence that he it really does bring. Especially, has brought at least in the past to that challenger side of things, and now here in the Pro League, this is the first time I've really seen him look comfortable, look confident against some of these counterparts on the opposite team, and especially against the likes of Strikers, the likes of Marsh. Like, these are players that are at the top of their game. To be able to do that against them is great.
Yep, and we're seeing them at the top of their game in those last couple of gunfights. Rated R now in a spot to do something here. C is ticking in. Is anybody near it? Notorious has to break. Can't break quick enough. Rated R once again with men on the field from Team Sick. Get the domination locked in. Just good positioning once again. 2-0 now to Rated R. Deservedly so.
Definitely so. Definitely so. As we said, this is their map, right? This is the map that they really do perform well on. Just while we're in the break, just a quick reminder that that long shot is available to grab. So if you are on the live.gearsofwar.com website, make sure to get the quest tabs. Grab the Wyvern long shot. I don't think we'll see any long shots in this game today, Chris, but that one is definitely a tasty one. Be nice to add to the arsenal for anyone watching.
No, I don't think we'll see many. Has to be said. So, I mean, in Publix you do, obviously, but no, I can't imagine these pros are going to whack those down. But as I said, it is 2-0 to Rated R here. Looking good for them on their
one, actually.
Most favored. Well, yeah, it is. Rated R have had to come in with the domination, but Team Sick, I think, will be disappointed in the fact that they have found a couple of good exchanges, but haven't been able to really do anything with it. But that's mostly down to Rated R's positioning. I think they've just been in the right place at the right time, and here we go. Can they find another round and make this nice and simple to head over towards Vazgar? Strikers is going to be flashed up, should be dealt with here by Notorious, who's going to keep on pushing, gets a good chunk in, but he has somebody else here to deal with as well. Strikers will get some sort of backup, but Notorious is going to back on down. How the hell has he found that kill on the Pains? And how the hell has Pains not found him? Notorious keeps on pushing, maybe a little bit overzealously this time round though, as he does now go down. Notorious trying his best to lock down that side of the map for his team, but Rated R flex their muscles a little bit here down low as Physics goes down 2, and now they're in control.
So much kind of baiting going on in that Aquarium corridor back then. It was a really nice opener actually from Notorious. Used that flashbang, the bait first out, he faked through it. Back Strikers up, got full control over that corridor, and then in the end did throw it. Stunned himself, was a bit of an accident, but really, really nice take on the corridor. And actually then in reply, Strikers trying to bait that incendiary throw out. Knew that he, could take a little bit of damage, bring Notorious out of cover, wait for the incendiary to come out, and it was Red9 that actually paid the price for that, taking that incendiary to the face. Swarm now 60 seconds away. Notorious, if he falls here, this could be bad for Team Sick. J-Rage doing his best here, trying to get a couple of kills. Dragons is going to die. Pain's in a bad spot now, 2v1 situation. Can he do anything about it? Nope. He's going to get taken down. Paint hasn't had many flashy plays this quarter as well, actually. That's something...
Yeah, I think that's
kind of accustomed to seeing, right?
I think that's fair. He's going to find himself on one respawn here as well. Team Sick now pushing forward, looking for their first round. Seems as if J-Rage maybe rolled a little bit too far though, unless Notorious can turn it on. Does find 2, but he needed to find a few more. Red9 though is here with Physics, and he may have just done enough. The domination, it should tick in. I don't think Slazen's going to have time. And there you go. Team Sick will get on the board. 2-1 now. And very well played. Honestly, I thought that they just didn't have enough reinforcements there, but Red9 Physics come through, clean up their kills. Notorious once again at the top of the leaderboard for his team. We said put yourself in the shop window, and he's very much doing that so far.
He sure is. I really like the flanks coming through there. Whilst they were all fighting, falling on heap, it looked, as you said, like a bit of a bad fight actually for Team Sick when everyone started kind of rolling into that pillar at the start, but the flanks that came through, they were just top tier. They came through, I think it was Red9 found the route through the spawn, and if you time that right, you time that just as someone kind of goes around that corner, just before the others come off spawn, you really can throw a very, very quick flank around there and also get quite a lot of kills. And it forces everyone to turn back around, which obviously then helps the further reinforcements coming in through that side door. Really, really well played by Team Sick. Deserve it of the round there this time around. Notorious with that flashbang. Will he push up? Can't just yet. There is someone behind him.
Oh, he's going to get caught out. Really good play by Rated R. Just patient with how they were doing things. Physics will find the cleanup, but will have to back on down and roll straight into the Nashor of Marsh. So Rated R are going to get control, as they so often do here down low. Looking the respawns though, keep an eye on Pains. He is in a dangerous spot as we head into the final round of the half, of course. So they will be trying to protect him as best as they can. See, number 6, he is sitting very much back a little bit. Here comes the push from Team Sick. It seems as if it's well coordinated. Are they going up top, or are they just trying to hold it? Looking for a pick, and then they'll make the move.
Is that pick going to come through there? That's the question. Notorious has got back up. Red9 flies in there. Strikers hightailing it. Has to go back towards his spawn. Trying to heal up as he does. Hitting the pillar. That's really, really nice. Red9's going to get taken out, though. Can Notorious do anything about it? No, not at all. Pains comes through from behind, gets the kill. Incendiaries to his name as well, and this should be a very, very useful tool now to push forward towards the B hill. J-Rage gets the cap. Does he pay for it with his life? That's the question. Going to jump down. Both members of Rated R going to find that kill on J-Rage. There is someone behind once again. Another flank Reader coming through with that damage. Will get taken out once again, and this is a bad situation for both teams, really. It's very, very scrappy back and forth, but it looks like Rated R, they're going to find those revives. They're going to find that B hill as a reward. And they should be able to establish a little bit of dominance here as they take full sweep across that midsection. And they start to set up a little bit.
Yep, they've locked it in. They get the control where they need to, and they don't need to force any of these fights. We can see they're backing off with the 40-second win condition. Notorious, of course, flying around the corner and just trying to find kills where he can. Martian Dragons are next on the list, potentially, but they have broken the line, if you like, that Rated R had set up. J-Rage is going to down Dragons as well, but here comes the kills from Rated R. Marsh is going to find one in Arena. Notorious and Co need to do something shortly. They have already got control of B, but that win condition is very much with the Swarm side of Rated R. 40 seconds now. They have to hold on, but 40 seconds for Team Sick to try and push through and try and do something here. Red9 putting shots in, just needs maybe to tickle the player on Rated R side of things, but Pains waits his time and takes his time. Red9 goes down. It's a very, very big gunfight for Pains to win. Red9 wins that. That's a couple of members down from Rated R. And suddenly the push could come through from Team Sick. It's still potentially on the cards here, but Rated R have locked in. And it's going to be quite difficult for Team Sick to make this push.
It is indeed 10 seconds remaining here. Physics going to run into some fire there. On the other side of things, Reader gets through. Good defense here from Rated R. Really, really good defense. That kill feed all red. And now Rated R already at the halfway mark. 3-1 up, looking real, real strong. And once again, we'll say it right. Exhibit, it's their map.
It is very much their map, it has to be said. Just getting themselves warmed up, maybe. 3-1 now, but Team Sick, we're a couple of gunfights away from being in a good spot to try and dominate, to try and win that round late on. But the half will now come through, the lives will reset. And now Pains doesn't have to worry about going down to those 0 respawns for a few more rounds at least, and his team are in control in this map at least anyway, not quite in the series as they find themselves 1-0 down. I think it's hard to go on board with anybody else on Team Sick at the moment, in all honesty. 9 kills, 1 assist, 7 deaths. Okay, he's not lighting up the stage, but when he gets going, it's a dangerous prospect for Rated R. But we need to find maybe a little bit more from Notorious, a little bit more from the rest of the team as well, if they want to try and find Exhibit. 2 kills though, going to go in the favor of Rated R. Pains and Marsh combining well over the other side of the map. Strikers, oh, he's going to turn and burn on Notorious, running through the fire, hilariously going down to Dragons, but either way, Rated R with control down low. And Marsh is overextended over towards D. He's got help as well. They're zoning them out where they can. Team Sick don't seem to be in a good spot to try and get this one back. And that is going to be 4-1. Very, very clean from Rated R.
Very, 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 very clean from Rated R. I love what I'm seeing here. Dragons once again leading the pack. Top amount of kills, top amount of assists. Looking real strong. Loadout option is starting to come through here now for Rated R. Pistol's going to go down. Dragon's going to get his hands potentially on a Boltok. Maybe a Talon, but most likely that Boltok, right? And now, is there a big weapon going to get placed down here? Are they going to force a fight? That's the question. Drop shot is going to get placed right down in the middle. Kind of interesting to see that, actually.
It's not
Is that
very
in the
often.
middle or is that up top?
Who
I
knows?
didn't quite see if he moved it last minute. We'll see in a second as we get into this round. Looks like it's down bottom at the moment as teams start to head down.
I'd imagine so. And that really just does put a lot more importance on getting a hold of E control, doesn't it? Notorious has done the same thing every single round. Flash comes out late. Strikers is probably going to answer back with his in a second. Not going to get a chance. Notorious will win that gunfight. Strikers goes down, but Marsh wins the one in the middle. Physics is going to go. Marsh keeps going. Notorious gets wiped off the map. And his team get a hold of the drop shot. It's fantastic play from Marsh. Time and time again, we see that sort of play out of him. Just gets aggressive, closes the gap between himself and Notorious so fast. Rated R cleanup shop down below and may clean up shop yet on Exhibit. Not long to go now. Oh, come on, boys. So out. There we go. And now the push back towards their own home hill as they know the push is going to come in here from top bridge, and it's a very, very good start of the round from Rated R through.
It is. It really is. They've got themselves those kills. They've got themselves that point lead. The drop shots coming through. Reader should fall here as well as Dragon's hot on his tails. Should be able to get this kill. Nice movement from Reader to keep himself alive in the end, though. Maybe a nice chunk there from the Gnasher of Dragons that does take him down. 10, 14, and 5. Looking real good here. They're starting to put a little bit of pressure across the top. Where's that drop shot of Marsh? Has he used it? That's the question.
Not too sure. But Team Sick have to be very careful with what they choose to do here. That's going to be the easiest kill. Okay. I'm not quite even sure what happened. No. I don't want to completely blame March for that one. It seemed as if Notorious probably should have went down. But either way, Team Sick are miraculously going to get a hold of 8. Pains is going to clean up the kill and will eventually get it back. But that was a very weird exchange in the middle of the map. But eventually Rated R will lock it in.
Yeah, it's all about that second shot. Just kind of fluffing under the armpit there of Notorious. Kept him alive way too long. Rage pushing himself into the corner. Will find the down. Nice. Shot there coming through. Revive's going to come through, perhaps a little bit aggressive. Would have liked to have seen a Lancer come out, really, from J-Rage in that situation. And now Dragon's gifted with 1. Is he going to get gifted with 2? Reader, does he fall? The knife comes out. It's traded back. Reader does get the down this time on Dragons now. Full red, though. Pains comes in and gets the cleanup. Will drop down. Will get the drop shot as well. Physics going to push up, rolls in. Should get cleaned up here. A scuff by Pains. We'll delay it for just a second, but the domination is ticking.
It's not quite there, but the round will be. Team Sick just not in any sort of spot to do anything about this. Exhibit belongs to Rated R as per usual. 5-1. They tie the series up. We will be heading over towards Vazgar as we expected, so after the first map at least anyway. Team Sick now need to get it done in 3, or can Rated R come in with the reverse sweep up against Team Sick?
It's a big ask, isn't it? It really is a big ask here for Team Sick to kind of come through and take this one again. And, you know, funnily enough, it's exactly the same scorelines as we saw last week, Chris. We saw a 5-2 win, you know, on the kind of challenging side of things. Rated R come back with a 5-1 on Exhibit again.
You just need to ban
Someone's got to start banning it.
Ban it out. It's every week.
Got to, haven't you?
It's every week. We see. I mean, I'm curious though because you know we got to the point where they were winning it time and time again, and then they got smoked on it in the finals of the Spring Major against Elevate. So who knows at this point? But I think teams should be banning it from them. But we head over towards Vazgar. I mean, you would say your money's still on Rated R here, and we will give it to Team Sick. They were fantastic on Asylum, but as an overall team, we still favor Rated R. Has to be set through.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, they played it last time around. These two teams matched up. They played Icebound first, and then they played Vazgar, and it was a real stomp, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
It was a 5-1 victory. It wasn't really in any question whatsoever. I think Rated R will go into this one with all the confidence in the world.
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll be disappointed the fact that they've managed to lose that first map, though. I think...
Yeah.
okay, I said before that they were flawless. I meant in terms of victories, but they have lost maps. However, losing maps to Team Sick is not something they want to do. They want to make sure that map and win percentages more in their favor. They want to make sure they are dominant throughout this season. When we spoke to them at the beginning of the season, they were saying to themselves they want to get that number 1 spot locked in this time. Yeah. Obviously, it was coming down to a very, very close game between themselves and Elevate in week number 6 in the spring quarter. But this quarter, this time, they want to lock it in. They can do it with a win here against Team Sick. Top of my head, I don't think anyone can catch them. If they've won all 5 of their games, they should be fine. There should be no mathematical way that they can be caught. Don't completely quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure, I'm 99% sure they lock it in.
You've said it now, don't you?
I have said it, so there it's gospel apparently.
No, I think you're right.
I think I am right. Maths isn't necessarily my strong point, but that should be the case. However, they still need to get it done here against Team Sick. We already seen a bit of a surprise in the fact that Team Sick won Asylum 5-2. Can we see any more surprises on Vasgar? If it's going to be any map, yes, okay, last time round Rated R did do comfortably well against Team Sick on this map, but it's one of those maps, it's very different to the rest. I'm not going to say that that's maybe the spanner in the works, but, you know, if any map is going to happen, you would imagine it might be Vasgar.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I may be clutching at straws, but at the same time, yeah,
slightly. But no, I actually think that you're right. I think it is. It does play differently, right? It's one of those, if you can win that initial, if you can find, you know, that first opening space, then yeah, you've definitely got a chance at winning the round, no matter who you're against, because at that point, it's just a game of keeping an eye on the numbers, rotating correctly, not letting anyone get that fast rotate and kind of catching you to a point. And also just making sure that you're winning fights where the numbers are. That's really one of the key points. If you can outline exactly what the opponent's strategy is, where they're putting their numbers, and you have the quicker route to overload one of those sites, you should always be coming out with 2 hills at some point, right? So I kind of feel like, yes, they could win. Team Sick could win, but it really depends on those initials and whether or not they can make the use of this time, the space that they gain from them.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm curious to see if Rated R maybe just reining in a little bit here, because there has been occasions where their lives have dwindled down in this game.
Yeah.
And they've nearly been caught out. They did get caught out on Asylum. Didn't quite get caught out on Exhibit, but it has been posing that sort of risk. But this is how the series has broken down so far. Asylum went over towards Team Sick in probably the biggest surprise of the Pro League so far, in all honesty. A fantastic win on Asylum 5-2, but they really got beat around Exhibit 5-1 to Rated R. Very, very clean and comfortable from the current number 1 team. But can they lock this in a map number 3 Rated R? Can they lock in that number 1 spot heading into the finals? I wonder. Vasgar is coming up. Can Team Sick cause a massive, massive upset and push us to the final week before we figure out what the hell's going on?
That's it, isn't it? That really is it. There are so many questions that we're going to get answers for in this next map, really, aren't we? Are we going to see Rated R lock in number 1? Are we going to see all of those positions be up for grabs in the final week? That's really what this map decides here. Looking at those stats coming into it, the win percent, that's on the side of Rated R. They've got a 50% win out of 2 games played. Team Sick, though, 3 games played, 0 wins on this map. They're going to look to make it 1 at least, trying to hit that 25%. Notorious going to be the one capping up this hill and going to be heading towards this home hill fight off the bat. Who else would you want there? He's going to be the one leading the charge with J-Rage at his side.
J-Rage making this push over towards A there. Give it over towards Rated R initially, but then the reinforcements coming through. Team Sick maybe will get a hold of this, but the Lancer Fire is going to be key. Slazen putting down shots where he can, trying to flick around the corner. Doesn't need to, as the rest of his team is there to clean this one up. They will find a couple of kills, but A is momentarily going over towards Team Sick. It will go, won't quite lock it in, and they're losing C as well. So Rated R, the only ones getting points on the board so far. A couple more kills needed by them to maybe lock this round in, but it's a good start to it so far for Rated R. They're now going to push over towards C and try and finally lock this round in.
Nice play here. Payne's lovely wrap shot finds that headshot there on Reader. Will try and defend. Another up A. Another up A. Payne, stop it. Give them a second. Rated R very, very quick. 1 minute on the bag. And they've already found themselves that first round. And a beautiful, beautiful triple kill there from Paynes to finish it off.
Very nicely done by Paynes. bit more like it. He's had a quiet series. He's had a quiet quarter, in all honesty. And would maybe like to see a little bit more out of him. I think the Rated R squad would as well. But I think the thing is with Rated R, they have so much talent across the board that he can have a bad quarter. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's had a bad quarter, in fairness. I think that's probably the wrong word to use. But I think we've been so accustomed to him going off on every single map that we're sort of a little bit taken back when he isn't frying, to be honest with you. But there you go, Rated R. We'll lock that one in. 4 kills, 1 assist, and 0 death for Pains. Good start to the map. Team Sick going to need to bounce back here.
They are indeed. They are indeed. Down at this B hillside, the tank fight. Notorious switching sides this time around. We are going to see pretty much mixed numbers here. Not mixed numbers, even numbers here. As we see 4 players from both sides just lining up, waiting for each other to make the first move. I think they're trying to figure out a plan. Pains, he's going to back off. Try and force a little bit of movement. You can see actually all he's doing here is just seeing what the reaction is. Because there's a fight going on at the other side of things. Strikers has won that, so they're going to be quick here. Do Team Sick, if they want to stay in this one, if they don't win this gunfight, they're going to be out of it because the domination is a possibility here.
Yeah, they're just walking through them at this point. Team Sick are going to elongate this round maybe longer than they should have. Are they going to make the push up towards the other side of the map, towards A? It doesn't look like it. Rated R 2-0 now. Looking to lock this one in, maybe not in the fashion that they would have liked, but if they can come away with a very dominant victory here on Vazgar, then maybe they will be a little bit happier. But I think there will be a part of Rated R that will still be disappointed with this performance. I think it will put them in a position where they say to themselves, right, we maybe need to work on our asylum. Or did they maybe just not give Team Sick enough respect? I think it maybe could be a little bit of both, but heading into the latter stages of this series, they're in control. 2-0 up here on Vazgar, and Team Sick are going to have to find something a little bit different here. Smoke's going to go down instead of upgrading that flash to a shock. So a little bit different to what Rated R have went with, but Team Sick now need to find something different in Vazgar so far. Rated R 2-0.
Yeah, to answer your question about Asylum, I think actually right now Asylum is one of those maps that's actually much more popular in the kind of grassroots and challenger side of things. Toby and I, we commentate over a tournament every Tuesday, and Asylum has been by far the most popular map for teams to pick, both in Escalation and in Gridiron. So I think that's where that kind of trend's coming through a little bit. On the other side of things, on the pro side of things, we saw it played 9 times in the very first quarter, and only 4 times the 2 quarters since then. Once this time around, it's definitely the map that's starting to kind of go backwards a little bit in the pros' eyes, it seems, as they start to find out really how to play these maps. Like your Icebounds, that's been played 7 times. Like your Exhibit, that's been played 5 times now. These were maps that, the teams wouldn't touch them at the start of that autumn quarter, and now they're the best picked ones in the whole circuit.
Nicely done by Strikers. We'll find an important kill over towards C. He will be able to decap that one and just get out as the rest of the team now fighting away towards B. It's good. Lancer Fire going to go in. I think Dragons was very, very weak there. Oh, here come the kills, though. Really well played by Rated R. Team Sick push them back, and they wait for the push to come through. They find a couple of kills as they're trying to make the transition, and C is the only thing in their sights. They're taking it from 2 different angles here. Notorious could do with winning this gunfight against Strikers. He's got him very, very red. He is going to be taken down off the players from Team Sick coming off respawn. And they should be able to defend C fairly handily, but Rated R have extended themselves across the map here and are in a good spot to defend, although they haven't defended B whatsoever. Expecting the full push from Team Sick to come in on that side of things, and Team Sick are going to take B fairly simply, you would think, but here comes Slays and finds 1, finds 2 far too easily, cleans up the 3rd, and just like that, Team Sick's push over towards B is shut down entirely.
Another push coming in here. Pains will find the revive, will find the kill. Hog, they're going to win in 50 seconds or so at this rate. A and B fully in their control here as they take that point lead from Team Sick. Team Sick now pushing up onto the high side. Has Marsh found a cheeky kill he might have here as he gets a real nice chunk there. Will get the headshot on Physics as well. Reader, can he do anything about it? Can he stop Marsh extending round towards the C hill? Not right now. He's going to get some damage down. The decap will come in. Marsh has to bail through the middle. He's going to get taken out by Notorious, but it's a trade of downs here as the teams go back and forth. Over on the other side of things, similar story. This time, though, it's Dragons getting that kill on Red 9. Marsh gets cleaned up on the opposite side. With 10 seconds left on the clock. Make it look like Rated R should be winning this one.
It's looking that way. Under 10, as you said. Slays it. Trying to clean up. It will seemingly not matter. Rated R should still have A locked in. Nobody there for Team Sick to do a lot about this one, and that is now going to be 3-0 Rated R. A lot more like it. This is what we expected to see from them against Team Sick. 3-0 now, and looking at this, it does seem as if it's a little bit too easy. I mean, the slaying side of things has just been so one-sided on Vazgar, and I don't know. It's one of these maps that, as said, we thought that Team Sick could maybe try something a little bit different on, but so far it's just very one-sided for Rated R, in all honesty.
It is indeed. It is indeed. 5-3 against Oxygen was their map 3. This time around, they wanted to do it in a little bit more style than that. We're going to see placed down, a drop shot going down pretty early on in the game, before the half. That's quite interesting. Forcing that fight pretty much to that side every single time.
Can Slazen and Co close this out in the minimum rounds required? I think they've really got their tails up after losing that first map. They've only lost 1 round since. Pain's going to find a kill there, but the kills are coming down here for Team Sick across the board. Dragons and Pains are going to answer back, and Dragons will get a hold of this drop shot as well. Pains and Notorious will trade the kill, such as Online Gaming. But Dragons and Co now do have that drop shot available and should be able to use it to the best of their ability to try and lock in this final round of the half. Dragons is going to find one under Rita. The kills slowly coming through here for Rated R. Dragons in a bad spot, though. Pains is going to be there to find a kill on a Red 9 and will get his teammate up after he put the final bullet in to put him down. Team Sick are the ones in control of the map, but good ball talks coming here from Dragons. And the rest of the team are here to try and back him up to try and get a hold of B.
Should be able to. Drop shot in hand as well. Dragons will get this lock in. Striker's going to push up maybe a little bit prematurely here, actually, as Dragons wasn't really in a good spot to be able to help. Strikers, though, he's able to deal with pretty much anything you throw at him, right? And Pains, he's going to have to back out as well. Slays in. Strikers, they're down in support. Drop shot over the B hill. This is a nice setup here from Rated R. They just got to make sure no one comes through the middle. They should be in a real good spot here. What they have to do, though, is they have to find their rotation. Where are they going to be able to push through? Because, you know, they've got the drop shot. They're trying to defend B. Realistically, Team Sick, they've got control of the whole map. They've got C hill, they've got A hill. They've got a nice setup there. What you want to be doing, really, is pushing through, taking attention away from where that drop shot player is and using that to find that kill. But Red 9's Lancer has just ripped through the side of Rated R there.
Team Sick looking to get their first round on the board here. But for all those kills that have come through, I'm looking across the map and then, yes, okay, they're in a spot to get a hold of B. Here come the rest of Rated R for Respawn, who should get C back. But A is still in control of Rated R. Strikers and Pains have been going off. Team Sick found like 3 kills there and have found absolutely diddly squat for it. And here come the kills for Rated R now, and it's just been turned completely on its head. They're nowhere near B, but they should be able to lock this in for the rest of the time, and they managed to pick up the drop shot as well. Everything went right for Rated R in those final 30 seconds. For Team Sick, that's a disappointing exchange. I mean, I said they get a couple more kills. They find themselves in a decent spot, just can't really do anything with it. It's a drop shot from downtown from Dragons that might wrap this round up. It's going to be hard to make the push through to B, but the fight's going on over there as well. They find the kills over there also, as well as over at A. It's just far too easy for Rated R. Far too easy. Team Sick need to punish them a lot more there.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. They all stayed until that fight was won, right? And then they backed around to their home hill because there was a one rogue player of Rated R looping round. And what you don't see on the side of Rated R is that indecision. We saw it right at the end. They got a few kills. They left 3 people on the opponent's home hill, but because they knew they had the drop shot, they could hold it with 3. They were just using those other 2 as bait. Other side of the map, they find the 2v1, they find the hill they need, and that's the kind of heads-up pro-level play that we're talking about. We don't need, 4 people to go back to the home hill to clean up 1 guy. You trust your teammates, right? You trust them to win that 1v1 or defend it, or at least buy the time until, you've got the map control or the hill that you're looking for. That's the difference right now between these two teams. That's why Rated R is coming out with less kills, but you know they come through with more rounds because of it.
TeamSick not setting themselves up very well on Vazgar so far, and it's looking like they are going to continue to have bad luck on this map. Physics though, he's going to find a kill on the Marsh, and that might set them up for this pushover towards the drop shot on E. Shot's going to come in here from Dragons though, it's good. Lancer Fire, they'll clean up these kills, they'll find the drop shot. And they have this now to try and deal with this final player pushing, which is Notorious. Dragons whips out the Nasher, finds the kill. E will go into their hands, as will F. As we, of course, are into the second half. And D is what's going to be in their sights.
Slazer coming through from Marsh.
Slazer having another good game.
He's already won it.
Yeah, I mean, it should be locked in now. It should be very difficult for TeamSick to come out of this one.
That's it, isn't it? One round really separating them between first place in the league. And a continuous game here. Dragons with the drop shot should really be in a good spot here to make some plays. Great double kill coming through. Can he make it a triple? He will indeed make it a triple. And that is going to be the elimination. It's going to be Rated R locking in that first place spot. And of course, coming through with a flawless victory here on Vazgar. What a performance. What a comeback.
The reverse sweep comes in. And it's a very, very simple one in the end for Rated R. Asylum was not 5-2 to TeamSick on that one, but Rated R come swinging out the corner. 5-1, 5-0 on Exhibit and Vazgar respectively. And honestly, that was those last two maps were as what I was expecting to happen in the first two maps. The fact that they lost Asylum, I said, I think was a bit of not much practice on Asylum, and the fact that they just did not give TeamSick the respect that they showed that they do deserve to an extent, I should say. Exhibit and Vazgar, of course, were not very pretty, but TeamSick eventually do get their first map win of the Pro League. However, it does mean very, very little in the end, as Rated R will lock this one in 2-0. I mean,
nicely done.
Yeah, I think nicely done in the end. If I'm Rated R, I'm disappointed a little bit that I didn't take that in 2. In all honesty, I think 3 very quick maps in the end, admittedly, but I think they would look at that Asylum, and I think that will give them an indication that they maybe have some work to do on that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's probably because they've not played it against a Pro League team for a while.
Yep.
You know, they struggled on it for sure. They obviously didn't have anything planned when they started losing that fight. Maybe they've just, you know, been scrimming it and have never lost that up top fight so convincingly before and hadn't had anything planned because of that. If that's the case, that is actually a little bit of poor planning, isn't it, from Rated R? You think they would have been able to kind of visualize their plan and realize really what the kind of counter would be if that plan started going wrong, and just didn't seem like they had an answer. But the other two maps you can't complain about. They're obviously very, very good at Exhibit.
Yeah.
And Vazgar as well is starting to be a map that other teams really should be scared of them on.
I mean, there's many maps that they should be scared of them on, but I think you're right. You know, not playing Asylum that much has come back to haunt them there in that one, so that will give them an indication of a weakness that they do need to fix, of course, heading into the final week and heading into the finals, of course, as well. But we do have another game coming up here at the EU Gears Pro League. It's going to be Oxygen against Elevate after this quick break.